Nina does production for the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. She teaches writing through Fairfield County Writers Studio and Work Crafters here in Eugene. She lives in Oregon. For Nina's publications, visit her website here, etc. on that. You'll see that in the book. Nina came to over 1,000 Wordo's writers' workshops in this bookstore. It's amazing, and she was the one through it all. And I'm sure you still do that, don't you? It's on Zoom, yes. But yeah, let's hear it for Nina.
I just thought I'd read the opening of my story and hope that intrigues you enough to get the book and read the rest. This is called Escapes. "Where are the books where you write your own ending?" the girl asked me. She was pale and bedraggled. Her shoes were scuffed and so was her face. The shoulders of her long brown coat were sopping from the rain outside the two-story building that housed Brannigan's books. The brown leather satchel strapped across her chest bulged at her side, its clasps broken and outside pockets gaping to display a selection of her underwear, mostly white cotton. I wondered if I should ask her to check her bag. I didn't think she could shove anything else into it, though, even if she wanted to shoplift. The Choose Your Own Adventure books? I glanced toward the kids section. Choose Your Own Adventure books were from my childhood. I didn't know if anyone published them anymore. I'd only been working at Brannigan's for a week, though, and I didn't know the stock yet. Every time I straightened a section, I found all kinds of books I'd never heard of in my previous incarnation as a bookseller at a big chain store in Seattle. David, the supervisor on duty, handed a little old lady a copy of the latest Witch's Almanac and came to the cash wrap. "Hey, Sylvia, need some help?" he asked. Everybody at Brannigan's was really nice. They didn't trust me yet. Every time I tried to answer a customer's question, somebody swooped up and checked on me, which was probably a good thing, as I usually had the wrong answer, apparently. It was as if my 8 years in book sales didn't mean a thing. They were watching me as though I was a baby chick in a hen yard. It was nice. It was also driving me nuts. I needed this job. I couldn't go back to Seattle. Peter was there, terrifyingly there, with all his friends, not all of whom I knew, but all of whom knew about me. The 3 earlier times I had tried to escape, Peter had tracked me down with the help of his watchful friends, and then he punished me for abandoning him. Those times I hadn't left town, just moved to new apartments in different suburbs. To actually escape, I had to leave everything behind, change my name, my hair color, and my behavior. I still wasn't sure I was safe, but at least I was somewhere else. I liked my new town, Tonket, somewhere in the middle of Washington state, not on any direct route from Seattle to anywhere else. So it was small and I was lonely. At least I had my own place. I could go home without worrying that Peter would be waiting in the apartment for me with another suitcase full of things he called toys. Well, that wasn't true. I always worried. The change was that even though I worried, nobody was there when I got home, and the tension that twisted my guts relaxed a little more every night. I loved selling books. Books had saved my life time after time when I was a teenager, and there was no way I could leave home except by reading. Hell, they even helped me survive the time I spent with Peter. I got a rush helping other people find the perfect escape. I was lucky Brannigan's had hired me. Brannigan's was the only bookstore in town and not an easy place to get a job. Some of the clerks had been there 50 years. Nobody ever quit unless they were moving or they died. I'd seen the tall stack of applications the owner had received. My application was good, even though the references were fake. But I had been lucky too, or maybe my interview went really well. I still wondered why I'd gotten the job, but I surely didn't want to lose it. I was still on probation to see how I worked out. I could survive being helped too much. "I'm looking for the books where you write your own ending," the soggy girl said in a soft voice to David. "Ah," said David, "follow me." He didn't head for the kids section, but back into the stacks where new and used books rubbed shoulders, and parts of each section were set up based on the special knowledge of the clerks Elizabeth, the owner, had asked based on the special knowledge of the clerks. Elizabeth, the owner, had asked me after I was hired what I had special knowledge of, and she set up a shelf just for me. Stock all your favorites here, she said, the books you can sell because you've read and loved them. So far, I'd ordered a hiking guide, 3 plant identification books, my favorite biography of Houdini, an illustrated book about the goddesses of India, 3 historic mysteries, 4 kids' books, and 8 fantasy novels. Mickey, another clerk, was nearby, talking to the bookstore cat, Tetashiri. Watch the front? I asked her. Sure. I followed David and the customer. I wanted to know where everything was, and I hadn't heard of this book category before. Against the back wall between the sections on self-help and history, there was a bookshelf I hadn't noticed, with a fold-down desk and a collapsible metal chair below it. The books on the shelf were covered in various fabric colors and designs, and none of them had titles. What kind of story is it? David asked the soggy girl. It's about a runaway. David sisked his tongue against the roof of his mouth, scanned the book spines. He picked one covered in faded blue denim, opened it, skimmed a couple of pages, and handed it to the girl. She turned to the first page. She read a paragraph, then glanced up at David. Her smile was like a shaft of sunlight coming through a cloud. Thank you. He held the chair for her. She sat at the desk, the book open in front of her. He handed her a pen. Thank you, she whispered again, her gaze already fixed on the words. David nodded, then took my arm and led me back to the cash rack. She's going to write in that book, I asked. A book she hasn't even paid for? She'll pay later. That's a category. Books where you write your own ending? David smiled. He was an older man, slight and wispy, with iron-framed glasses and a retreating hairline. He dressed in blues and grays, soft, sweatery shirts and vests, and nondescript slacks. He had a V-shaped smile that changed him from invisible into something cunning, sparkly, and almost dangerous. I'd been trying to train myself not to back away when he smiled, but I still stepped back. His smile widened. We have special customers for that section. Let me know if anybody else asks. It takes a while to learn those books.